morning. Looks like we've got a couple people have joined. Looks like we've got a couple people have joined. Nice. How are you, Zach? Glad to see you. Can you hear me okay? Is there much for background noise? My microphone broke on me on Friday. Hey, Radar. Thanks for stopping in. Hopefully it's not too noisy. I was saying on Vinny's live this morning, he was showing the new microphone that he bought, and I mentioned that mine broke last week. I was trying to do the filming of my table saw setup, and the transmitter, the plug that goes into my phone, actually broke right off. So I'm hoping this isn't going to be too much background noise. I've just got my earbuds in and using the phone. Ray and Sandy, thanks for joining. Appreciate you. I know I didn't give much notice. I just figured I had a crib board that I needed to do some laser engraving to finish off, and thought, well, I'll just throw it out there, and if anybody's available, they'll join. If not, so be it. It's good practice, and I need to get this done anyways. Well, if you were just using your phone microphone yesterday, Zach, it still came out clear. Although there was no tools, I guess, involved, so that might make a difference. Take you along with me here. Give you an idea of my messy laser area here. So what I use is an AP laser. It's called an AP 2816, and it is what they call a low rider. So the bed itself is 28 inches wide, 16 inches tall. This whole thing takes up a massive space. But what's unique with this laser is this whole bottom, you can see maybe the wheel there in the bottom left and the handle. This whole bed piece pulls out, and I can lower this laser head unit right down to the floor level. So I can actually, if you have a big enough contract to make it worthwhile, I can go in and engrave on wood floorings or marble flooring and do company logos and such. And it's also what I originally got into this for, was trying to do more memorial work. After all the deaths in the family, we saw how crazy expensive it was, and I thought there has to be a better way to help families take care of their loved ones and not shame them into spending way too much money for products. So the memorial work I have done so far usually end up being roughly about a half, sometimes a little bit more depending on what they want. on the cost of what it would be to go through one of the other providers. So yeah, it's a big unit, 90 watts CO2. But what I'm going to be working on today on this wood, I do cribbage boards that are layered, and they're customized. So what I do is, this is the top of the cribbage board, and I change by demand what the people want for their insert. And this one doesn't have the bottom on it yet. I leave them like that. I prep, this piece is 3 layers, and I prep these in advance, and then leave the bottom and the centerpiece, because sometimes somebody wants a message in this area here in the bottom, and I laser my logo on the back, or if they really want something on the back, I'll put something on the back for them. But these inserts, I can customize any kind of design or message. Some of them are made to look a little bit more rustic, so you can see that one's got a little bit of a different finish to it, where like these ones are more dark finish. But this is what I'm going to be working on today. I need to do a motorcycle image for one of the guys in the Winnipeg chapter of the Indian Motorcycle Rider Group. I do have an Indian motorcycle. I'm actually the vice president of the local chapter. So there's several things that I've done that really are for our chapter. That the Indian motorcycle sign, some of you may have seen, was one of the things specifically for that chapter. But I work for the laser in a program called Lightburn, and basically I lay out all my designs in here. I try to keep the basic designs all together, and then when I'm doing a specific piece for somebody, it allows me to open up multiple screens, multiple pages. So then I just open up what they want on the other page, and it makes it a little bit easier for just keeping all my designs kind of grouped together. When I started, I didn't really do it this way, and I would end up with you know, you could have a cribbage board in one folder, 2 in another, one completely somewhere else on your desktop, and it just makes for a lot of confusion at times. But yeah, Steve at My Honeys, his laser work, if you've seen his maps, he does some beautiful work there. I think everybody here is probably subbed to Steve, but if you aren't, definitely that's somebody you'd like to get subbed out with. Sorry, I'm really new to all this, so I'm just going through and Vice, I'm adding you as a moderator. Radar, you did the same thing. And Ray and Sandy, you've been supporting me and coming to anything, commenting on anything I have, so I'm going to add you as well. My inner circle. Hi Cheryl, welcome. Appreciate you stepping in. Just letting everybody know I'm working on that cribbage board and the laser engraving that goes with it. So I've got a step here. When it comes to doing the black on the laser engraving, what I try and do to get a real clean design and image. Anybody that's done laser work has probably heard of using the borax method. So I mix up a borax solution that's pretty much a 10-to-1 mix, and once that dries, I can laser right onto that surface and you get a real crisp, clean, black finish. So I'm going to switch it back here again. Well, actually, I'll just leave this one. Set you up here. Hopefully I don't mess it up too bad. Into that top corner. So what I've done is, just for the sake of this video, I've bypassed my cutoff switch for my lid, just so we can get a better view. Not something I would advise anybody to do. Of course, safety is key. This being such a small piece and very little in terms of cuts and fumes, doing safe and doing this to give you a better visual. But there is a lot of cutting and a lot of fumes with different material. The acrylics, when you cut the acrylics, it can be quite smelly. And my system is set up, I actually have dual ventilation, so I have ventilation that comes out of the top of the unit. I also have ventilation that pulls through the honeycomb bed. So in order to take proper advantage of that, obviously you have with flows. I prepped the solution in advance, so basically just to show you how I end up going through it. Very simple, just a brush on. Doesn't have to be, but you don't want it so wet that it's running. You want it to be able to soak into the board. Well, it does absorb very quick. But just good even coverage. You know, even with this solution, there is times where you might not get the complete dark image the way that you want it. There might be some lighter areas. You do have the ability to go back over and laser again. You have the ability to be able to add a little bit more solution if it's really a lighter area. But it does. You have to be careful when you add again because it will smear an image. Once I'm finished it, I end up going over with a it doesn't take very long for this to dry. We're going to let it just set out. It takes a few minutes. I have So yeah, I do a lot of layered wood signs, and now really just recently have been asked to get into doing uh, wood signage with layered acrylic on it. Um, it's definitely the bigger part of what I've been doing recently, and it wasn't at all what I expected I was even going to be asked to do. But I did a layered sign for a motorcycle group, and it generated a lot of attention, and that, once it got posted, I posted it on Marketplace and on Instagram just for some exposure. But once it got posted, uh, I guess it generated interest in amongst different groups, and wedding names and signage has developed from that, as well as some corporate signage that I've been asked to do. So just a small one-man show. The first 2 years was really thanks for stopping in, Rand Sandy. Appreciate it. Chores to do before the monsoon hits. Oof, stay safe. Yeah, I kind of lost my train there, but I got into the wedding signage. I've done wedding gifts for bridal parties, so a lot of engraving on Yeti pieces for that, and different glassware. I've done glassware for bride and groom, stemware, that kind of stuff. Bridal party beer mugs for the men, and wine glasses for the ladies. So yeah, there's always something that you're able to do. People will ask about, and it's always changing. But the first couple of years, I was really just teaching myself. There's no great course for being able to get out there and learn it. Every laser is different, so when you first get on and you listen and you're watching all these groups and you hear them talking about settings, and it's never the same. Your laser's not the same as theirs. And even the people, like with my laser, the AP laser, the settings that work on my 90 watt aren't always what work on somebody else's. I found out that the production run of my 90 watt is actually closer to 100 watt tube, and some of the older 90 watts that they were selling were closer to 80 watts. So there's a big difference, but it's all a learning curve, and it took time. But I'm glad I did it, and hopefully this year is where everything takes off. So I'm going to set you back up. Another mistake. I better bring myself back to my orientation. motorcycle turned out quite well. The logo that's a great thing. You don't touch anything, you don't move anything. You can make that adjustment on the second pass. You can see already that the second pass. I'll do a quick show again for tieback. When I bought this laser, was really I wanted to do more of the memorial work. So I bought a unit that I can do headstones. This whole bottom piece comes out, and that laser head, they call this a low rider unit. So electrically or electric assist, I can actually lower it right down to ground level or up higher than what it's sitting at right now. But the lowering to ground level, I can actually do flooring. Like if a corporate customer wanted to pay me to come in and do logos on the floor, I can do that on their wood flooring, on tile, on granite, slate. And the other thing that I can do, and it's not to be morbid, it's just memorial work. This coming out allows me to do casket tops. Thanks for stopping, Cheryl. Really appreciate you. Have a great day. So that was one of the things that really drew me to this unit. So I'm going to quickly set this back up and we'll do the cut. I hope if I put it the right way. I'm sure you'd rather see that than outside. Up. So for those who didn't see it earlier, this is the crib board that I make. So this here is 3 layers. Oh, no, that's actually 4 layers, I guess. 3 or 4. And then the centers just swap out and the bottoms if the customer wants something engraved, a message or anything in the middle, I can do that. But there's all the different, I do a lot of nature theme, mostly nature theme. I had a request this past winter for somebody for curling. I also do, take you on a little walk here. I do the custom pegs. Sorry, gotta set this down for just a moment. So when a customer wants a cribbage board, not only do they have the option of what top do they want, as I drop all my pegs, I do custom pegs. So eagle, bear, wolf. That's the ones that I've done. I have probably 7 or 8 other designs for pegs that I've just haven't made up in bulk yet. For the motorcycle ones, I can make for brand, and I make them double-sided, and you can get funky if you'd like. So that's what today was all about, just getting through getting this one ready for a customer. As I mentioned, I use magnets. Keeps everything nice in place. So this will end up being the bottom, and that will be the customer set. So now that I've got the lasering done, what I'll end up doing is I'll need to put a clear coat on that top and the bottom layer, and then the glue up of those of the bottom to the piece that's already there. So but yeah, that's really just, I knew I had to get that done today, and I thought I haven't done a live of doing any work. I haven't even done a video of me doing any of the work, so it was about time to put something out there that at least shows I actually do something. So that's really what today's video was for. So just gonna get caught up here in some of this chat. Lenny's burner was just delivered. Hey, that's quick. That is fast. I think it was wrong because it went to the wrong address, so something happened. I'm not sure where things got crossed up, and that manifesting that win. Maybe I look like Lenny. I don't know. Something went wrong. That was a great live though, Zach, and that's a great giveaway. Looking at buying new tools, my resawing of that basswood didn't go well. What are you looking to get there, Meinhardt? Thanks, Suzanne. The zombies got lost looking for brains. As a kid, I had one of those little pyrography sets that they give you the piece of board with an image painted on it for you to burn out, and um, I liked it, but I don't think my family trusted me with it, so I never got to finish all the pictures. I don't get it. Zach, we all know that's part of it. We can't win everything, and to expect that anybody's going to be able to give away endless amounts isn't realistic. It's you know, I'm sure I speak for everybody. We don't support you because we expect to get something out of a giveaway. We support you because you're just a great guy, and we love what you do, and we love that you support everybody. What bandsaw do you have right now, Meinhardt? I recently bought a 10-inch. It's not a big name brand, um, but it um, has a 6-inch resaw capability. Most of the stuff, like I don't do a lot of big projects in terms of woodworking where I would need more than that. Van Lot. There's one of the key inner circle. How you doing today, Van? You missed all the excitement. I was singing and dancing and entertaining everybody. Oh, it was just something else. I was saying earlier, Van, I don't have any content on my channel of me actually doing any work prior to today. So uh, I knew I had to get this cribbage board done for a customer. I'm supposed to meet them on Wednesday, and I figured I might as well put something up, even though it's last minute for anybody to join. But I'll just give you a quick look at what it is. So this piece here is going to be the bottom, so it'll be underneath this other unit. But I make these so that you can change the tops out, so it's totally customizable. So for this one, the guy wanted his motorcycle on it, and it is an Indian motorcycle, so that's the pegs that I'm going to give him. I do these up as well on the laser and then just hand form them. So all of this, I know it's not everybody's idea of woodworking, but there is a mix of woodworking involved in terms of some of the carving, hand carving for the pegs, and then the assembly of the wooden components. But these are all done up so that you can change or pick different inserts. So I do primarily wildlife and camping stuff. I did get asked to do a curling set for somebody this past year, and then the motorcycle ones that I do as well. Not big fancy builds, but the way that at least they can be personalized, that's one of the big key things in the stuff that I do. Try to make any of my pieces into not just a a piece, but a piece of art if I can. Oh yeah, Van, I'll show you the laser. So this is my itty bitty desktop laser that takes up about 6 feet from to the wall, 9 feet wide, and it's got a 28 inch by 16 inch laser bed. This whole bottom piece comes out, it rolls out. I can lower this unit right down to floor level and engrave hardwood floors or tile, ceramic, granite, slate. And because I was wanting to do the memorials for the headstones, the bigger pieces, with this unit, when I take that bottom out, I can actually fit a casket underneath to do the engraving on the casket tops. So it's a bit of a beast, as Zach put it, but the range of materials I can do, the granite for headstones and grass markers, wood obviously, slate. I do photos, laser engraved photos on slate. The acrylics, glasswork, mirrors. The only thing that really you're limited to with it being it's a 90 watt CO2. So on a CO2 laser, you really can't engrave on metal or into metal. I can mark metal. I can do stainless steel so that you get that black marking on the stainless steel. And that's done just with using a different coating and then lasering the coating. But I am looking at options right now for either a fiber laser, or Xtool has their F2 on sale right now, and it has a diode and an infrared on the F2. So I could actually do on metals and into metals, like do the brass coins and stuff like that. But the ultimate for looking at it, the main reason is I want to do fingerprint jewelry pieces for memorial. As you know, with my father-in-law passing away, I want to do his fingerprints on pieces, whether they're necklaces or bracelets, pieces that I can do his fingerprint on for the family members. And then obviously make that part of my memorial business as well. Yeah, Zach, 90 watt. Yeah. So just a little laser. I have this set up in a room in my house because I can't let it freeze. And up here in Canada, obviously, when my winters get to 40 below, and 40 below being the both on both scales, you can imagine how much of a risk that would be to leave in a cold shop. I did convert my front garage into a wood shop this year so that I didn't have to go to the back. It just isn't enough space to try and do the woodworking as well as the having the laser in there. Well, I appreciate that everybody came out. I won't tie anyone up any longer in their day. If there's any kind of projects you're interested in seeing on the laser side, let me know. I'd be happy to try and do something that is of interest to everybody else. And again, I appreciate every single person that's taken the time to subscribe and like, and don't forget to hit the like on your way out. But I've I'm going to cut it off here and let everybody get to their day. Love you all. Appreciate you all. You mean the world. Thank you so much for stopping in, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye for now, everybody.